Welcome back to Cask 529, everyone. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Shona.
And we're back with week 7 of the Sunday Whiskey Showdown. All right, Shona, week 7, I got a 4-2 lead.
No, you don't.
I don't.
No.
I
have a 4-2 lead.
Huh. Maybe that's right.
But I did promise you that I would flip the coin and you could call it this week.
Yeah, because of the 6 matches, the coin toss winner has won the match.
I think you did get a pick at once. Yeah, oh yeah.
Twice,
yep. Sorry, you're right. Okay, so ready to spin the wheel? See what we're picking, what our category is?
See what we've got, see what we're playing for.
Come on, something good, something good. And we are selecting a bottle between $30 and $44.99.
$30 to $44.99.
That one could be a little bit tough.
So that's where our bottles need to fall for this challenge.
Yes, so that's heads.
That's heads.
I do not flip a coin very often. This is one of our challenge coins.
Call it.
So it's kind of heavy. So if I drop it.
Heads.
Heads. Oh, it's tails.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, guys, so we will pause for just a minute. We'll pick a couple bottles and we'll come back and we'll show you what we've got. All right, everybody. So Shona picked her bottle. I took a nap because it took her that long.
It did take me a while.
But she found a bottle.
I did.
And you went with?
I went with the 17, I wanted to look up the price one more time. 1792 single barrel that comes in at $41.99 here in Ohio. So it is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey and it is proofed at 98.6 proof. Again, $41.99.
Okay, so I'm surprised that we didn't really have a lot of bottles that fell into that price range. We were really limited. I thought I knew exactly where I was going to go. And when it was my turn, we had never replaced what I was looking for. So I went with Midwest Spirits Straight Wheat Whiskey. It comes in at 92 proof, distilled right here in Columbus, Ohio. This bottle comes in at $43.99, so I was $1 under the limit.
Yeah, there is a couple that I initially went for thinking, oh, they are in the price range, but they must have jumped up because they were closer to the $50 range than what I remember them being. But you have that, the price increases and stuff. And
yeah, and actually what I was going for was a new riff, and the bottles that we had creeped over the price range, and then we had a couple bottles that Shona and I blended last year, so those weren't in play. But number one, they charge you more than that for those bottles.
Right. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I've been noticing that these are really, really close in color.
They're very similar, aren't they?
Yep, so we'll make this one glass 1.
And even in the bottles, guys, it's you really don't see a difference in the bottles. So
glass 1 and glass 2. Move these closer together. You can put your glasses up if you want. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Glass 1.
Cheers. Good luck.
Cheers. Yes, good luck to you.
Hope you lose.
I hope you do too. Nice nose on one. Getting no sweetness.
It is, and it's a sweet nose.
But it almost has a little essence of corn. A lot of caramel shining through. Some vanilla. Getting a little bit of that yeast note on it as well.
I've got the vanilla, for sure, the vanilla.
Very pleasant, very nice nose.
Kind of thin on the palate. Very smooth.
A lot of oak presence up front. Then goes into that sweetness that we were getting on the nose with the caramel, vanilla. A little bit of the cereal grain notes on it towards the end as well. It is a little thin, but you know what? A little bit of a a proof point right in the middle.
Yeah,
just in the middle of your palate.
So it is thin, but it does present a little bit of the proof, and that might come through the oak, because Shona mentioned the oak presence there. Anxious to see the second sip.
That one I'm picking up more of the baking spices. I'm going to say more of a clove type spice right in the middle. Then a little bit of a pepper essence on the finish there. Overall, it's a really nice pour, solid pour, smooth. What you would expect. Both of these are under 100 proof, so I would say it's exactly what you would expect for something under 100 proof.
Yeah, and
but a very nice, smooth pour.
It is light in color. However, they both appear to be somewhat light in color in the glass. It's kind of strange because these two in the bottle present themselves darker than what they look like in the glass. I get the pepper on the finish that Shona mentioned. It is really smooth. It's not a bad pour at all. It's just not.
It's not super complex.
Yeah, and it's not typically what we would pour, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I would drink it, definitely drink it. I mean, not bad at all. On to number two. Number two, again, that sweetness is coming through. A little bit of spice on the nose as well. Both noses are really nice. Picking up a little bit more grain essence on the nose of number one. Number two is really nice. The caramel's coming through on it as well. It's kind of weird, I mean, for the Middle West to be a wheater, that the noses are so similar.
Right. Yes, I agree. They are very similar noses. That's what I was just went back to one because I was like,
they're both great noses.
yeah, I'm not really getting anything different on two on the nose than I did on one. That's really different compared to one.
It is.
It's not as thin.
It coats your mouth, definitely a lot.
It does
not being thinner. There's a note on it that I was trying to pick out, and that's why I was kind of rolling it around my tongue. Definitely some sweetness. May have a hint of cocoa, but it might be more of a nutty note that I'm getting. I'll see on the second sip there. I feel like it's presenting itself a tiny bit proofier than the first one was, but it could just be the heaviness. They both have nice oak notes to them. I feel like the oak presence is pretty good on both of them.
I think the oak presents itself a little more on the second glass than it did the first. I do get that, what you mentioned, it presents itself a little proofier than the first glass. Like Shona, there's a note there that I'm not sure what to call it. It's really different.
Very different. It's almost between like a honey citrus grass note, but it's a dark note. It's like a deep dark note, but it reminds me, like, if I'm trying to dissect it, it has like a honey feature, then a citrus, then a grassy, earthy note.
I get the citrus out of it.
It's really good, honestly. I like both of them. I would drink both of them. Trying to think what I would score that one. I think I'm going to go that way, but I'm going to taste them one more time to be sure. while we are going back through and tasting these, I just want to give a shout out to our two newest patrons, David Tanko and Stan Sabick. Thank you so much for your support and for everyone's support to help us grow this channel and keep the fun things happening. Both Bryan and I truly appreciate it, so thank you.
Yes, thank you to David and Stan. Thanks to everybody. Without your help, we couldn't continue to do this. So thank you guys. Thanks for always tuning in, especially on our live streams. I know they get a little off the rails sometimes, but hey, we're having fun. I'm anxious to see your scores on these because
I knew it moved them over here. I'd tried to keep them separate so we're not looking.
It's a really tight race for me.
Mine's only 1 point difference right now.
Same. Man, they're so similar. They're just so similar that I even when we early on, I even considered scoring them both the same. But I was like, no, one of them is probably a preference.
Okay, so I scored glass number 2 1 point higher than I did glass number 1.
Same here.
Only because I felt glass number 2 coated the palate just a little bit better.
It just had that element over the first glass.
It did.
I agree, 100%.
It just showed up just a tiny bit better. Both are really good pours, but I cannot believe the two different brands are so similar. It's kind of...
And they're what, a handful of proof points apart.
Yeah, and I know the mash bill has to be completely, probably not even close to being the same.
I'm sure they're completely different.
So, glass number 1, I gave a 74.
76.
Glass number 2, I gave a 75.
77.
Okay, so ready to see who glass number 1 is? Glass number 1 is Bryan.
Always a low one. Always a low one.
So, glass number 1 was the Middle West Spirits. Glass number 2 was the 1792 Single Barrel. I'm telling you what, you're not going to go wrong with either of these pours though. They are both very, very good. So Bryan is figuring up glass 1 average is a 74. So you had 77, I had 75, so it should be a 76. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so glass 1 average, the Middle West scored a 75 for the average. The single barrel, 1792 single barrel was a 76.
By far the closest round we've had. Again, I come up short. However, that was a tough round.
It was.
It really was. And really, when Shona came out with the single barrel 1792, I was like, I don't think we have anything that's going to compete with that in that price range. So I'm pretty happy with where I came in, actually.
Yeah, you did good. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous because I couldn't really distinguish which one was which. So both great pours. If you haven't had them, try to get them. I know the one is really in Ohio. I'm not sure how much Middle West has expanded out beyond Ohio. And I know the 1792 single barrel can be harder to get. It was a special single barrel release that Bryan was able to get here in Ohio. But anyways, give them both a try if you can.
I will say where I knew I was in trouble when we first tasted the second glass.
Yeah.
And you said it was proofier.
But that's not always right, though.
I know it's not always right, but I had a feeling that it was going to be.
And it just coated your mouth a little bit better.
And yeah, and that's why I had to give, even though I felt that was yours, I still had to give it the edge because
it did.
There was just a little more to it.
So that makes me...
The fact that we were both
5-2.
1 point apart on the two glasses was kind of impressive.
Yeah, but it's holding true. Whoever gets to pick the first bottle is winning.
Still, yeah. 5 times in a row now, Shauna's first bottle.
Right.
Okay, guys. So thanks for tuning in. If you would, please hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Drop us a comment. Have you had these 2 bottles? If you have, what have you thought of them? I know Midwest Spirits is probably not giant out there in the market, but if you have had Midwest spirits, Middle West.
Yep.
I'm sorry. If you've had Middle West spirits, what do you think of it? And 1792, I've not really talked to many people that haven't liked
It's solid.
1792 products. So I think that's all we have for today. Until next time, be safe, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.